So today I'm going to talk about an issue that I've been seeing quite a bit with my clients and with business owners, and that's doing things or failing to do things that create delays in the business. Oftentimes that's with startups where they can't start operating in time because they've missed a step or they delayed something. Or that could also be with operating businesses who are maybe taking on a new project or something like that, and things need to get done before they can take the next step. So with a business, obviously it is very important to plan. I tell every business owner, you maybe don't need a 40-page formal business plan, but you need a plan. You need to be strategic. You need to think a lot and take notes and consider different ideas and different perspectives and everything like that. So the better you can be at planning, the less issues you're going to run into. Of course, don't get carried away and just plan so much that you don't do anything. You do need to take action as well. But in that planning phase, whether again that's starting a business or just like taking on a new project for an existing business, you want to look at things that need to get done in order for you to take the next steps. So for example, I'm going to talk about startups here because that's really important, where they have certain things they have to do in order to take further steps in setting up their business. So one thing that would be really important that I see is people not getting commercial insurance when they get a lease. And now most times, if you're leasing out a commercial property, you're not going to be able to get possession and the keys for that property until you have commercial liability insurance and property insurance. So if the landlord says you can have the keys June 1st and you can't get insurance until July 1st, then maybe a month goes by where you could have had possession and you didn't get it because you couldn't get insurance. So, how long it takes to get insurance can vary depending on, the insurance provider, the region, the seasonality. Maybe a lot of the, people who make that happen are on holidays. So with something like that, in some ways, the sooner the better. Maybe give it a month before you need it just to make sure you get it in time. Because with something like insurance, you don't have to make the policy effective until you actually get possession. So it's not like it has to be effective the day you apply for it. Now, another thing would be getting other permits. Maybe you need a permit for construction, and if you don't get that construction permit, you can't do like leasehold improvements on your property. And if you can't do those leasehold improvements, you can't operate. So that would be really important too, to make sure you get construction permits or other permits like a food service permit, which is a common thing and necessary where I live for food service businesses. And this as well can be unpredictable. Sometimes it could take a few days, sometimes it could take a few weeks. But if you're operating a food service business, you're not supposed to operate without one of these permits. And if you get caught, you could have penalties. They could shut down your business. So this is a crucial step in that industry. And again, one that you're better off being early than late for. Another thing would be getting a business bank account. I've seen examples before where someone has a business, but they haven't set up a business bank account. One of their client writes a check to them made out to their business name, and they can't deposit it because their personal bank doesn't recognize their business name. So that's something that could create some problems as well. Typically, setting up a bank account doesn't take very long, so that's not going to be like a huge hurdle or a huge barrier in operations, but still something to be mindful of. And now one other instance where business owners could get caught up with delays or just kind of have the wrong order of operations would be with getting funding. So if you need funding, if you need a loan to operate your business and to get started, that's another thing where it's probably really good to get the ball rolling early, because it can take a while. Sometimes the banks or lenders can be a little bit slow. Maybe some of their people are on vacation. Maybe they need you to change your application or provide more information. Or maybe you thought you were going to get approved and then you get denied for a business loan. And then maybe you need that money to pay for leasehold improvements or pay rent for a commercial space that you leased. And then you're kind of stuck where you can't afford to make those payments because either you didn't get the loan that you wanted or you didn't get it in time. So that would be another thing that's really important to plan for in advance and make sure you have it in place, a little while before you actually need it, ideally. So those are some of the key things and most common things that I'm seeing with business owners and that I've experienced. And I just want to discuss that a little bit just so business owners are more aware of it so that you can avoid mistakes. Ultimately, that's one of the main things that I focus on with my clients, is helping them avoid delays and problems. So if you found this video useful, please click like and feel free to check out my YouTube channel. You can subscribe if you like. As of today, I have over 165 videos that cover business management and business startup topics.